everybody. We are back again. We are already finished up week 1 of college football, and now we are on to week 2. We are going to recap. We will recap the top 15 teams and matchups from last week, talk about them a little bit, and then we will do our predictions for this week's top 15 matchup. Plus, we throw in our weekly dumpster fires, plural, of the week. We have a little fun with that. There was a lot of dumpster fires this week, wasn't there? But anyways, we're going to go ahead and jump on into our recap of week 1. Again, we don't recap them 1 through 15. We just recap them as the games played. Starting out with Thursday, we had Oklahoma State beating Central Michigan.
A high-scoring game.
High-scoring 45. Oklahoma State scoring 58 is exciting, but giving up 44
is troublesome.
Is a little troublesome, especially giving up 44 to Central Michigan.
That's Big 12 ball right there. That's classic.
That
Big
is
12
zero
ball.
defense. Zero defense. Another top 15 game we had Friday. We had Western Michigan at Michigan State. Michigan State won 35-13, but it cost them a little pretty penny there. They lost 2
of their starting defensive players in that game.
They lost starting linebacker and a starting safety in that game. 2 injuries, out for the year. So that's going to hurt Michigan State a little bit. We'll just sort of have to see how it does for them as the year goes on. Starting on Saturday, we had Sam Houston getting skunked by number 6 Texas A&M, 31-10.
They should have scored more points, but the defense did perfectly fine.
That's what I thought. Giving up 0 is awesome. Only scoring 31 on Sam Houston.
You should loosen out your guns there.
They should have scored 40-ish.
You need to unload your ammo there.
Yeah. Again, we'll just sort of have to see if Texas A&M is going to have much of an offense. Of course, they might have got up 28-0 and called off the Dogs too. We'll just sort of have to see how it goes. But they did score 31-0. We had Colorado State at Michigan. This is more like it, 51-7.
Yeah,
you beat them by 44. That's what you're supposed to do. That's what you did. Take care of the people and go on to the next one.
Jim Harbaugh, coming off his Big Ten title last year.
Yep.
Looking to repeat as Big Ten champs.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And then we had our maybe overrated team of the week, number 13, NC State.
And East Carolina.
Beat East Carolina 21-20, and East Carolina should have won. East Carolina missed a field goal as an extra point, and then they missed a 3-point field goal with a 41-yard field goal at the end to lose the game. So East Carolina should have actually beat NC State. NC State should not have been ranked that high.
And they lost their starting tight end.
So that's even worse.
So, yeah, they were overhyped during the season, and they kind of showed it.
Yeah, it was supposed to be like the second-ranked quarterback in the league, maybe, on that team, and it really just didn't look like it, not unless they were just holding us back. I don't know. I think NC State might have been a little overranked there. But we'll see, again, as the year goes on.
That's not the only few special teams blunders we'll have to talk about.
Oh, no, there was definitely some special teams blunders. Our matchup of the week, our game of the week, had the Superpower Oregon, number 11, at number 3, Georgia.
One of them was a superpower, all right.
Man, that was 49-3, and they called off the Dogs to only make it a 46-point win. Georgia could have probably put 60 up on them.
Georgia's first drive, touchdown. Georgia's second drive, touchdown. Georgia's third drive, touchdown. Georgia's fourth drive, touchdown. Georgia's fifth drive, touchdown. Georgia's sixth drive, touchdown. Georgia's seventh drive, touchdown. 7 straight drives, they didn't get 1 stop.
Wasn't that Georgia's defensive coordinator that went to Oregon?
Yes.
I thought maybe, hey, if there was anybody that knew how to stop Georgia, it would be Oregon because they got Georgia's defensive coordinator.
Well, who would have known?
He couldn't stop a cold. It was embarrassing.
The defense flew south for the winter.
I don't know if Kirby's trying to prove a point because, like we talked last week, this was the game where you found out does he rebuild or does he reload?
He just reloaded.
He reloaded, man,
He
because
loaded on Oregon.
they beat the crap out of them, man. That was a bad game. Up next, we had UTEP at Oklahoma. Oklahoma took care of them, 45
Brent
to
Venables'
13.
first game as Sooners head coach.
And he looked pretty good. I mean, you scored 45. I mean, he didn't score 60, but he scored 45. And won by more than 30, and that's what you're supposed to do in that game. We had, let's see here, number 14 USC took on Rice and put up 66 on them.
Lincoln Riley's first game as USC head coach.
And he looked pretty good, too. 66 to 14.
You put 66 on the board, that makes you pretty much a target.
Yeah.
They're the Pac-12's last hope.
They're
like Princess Leia, she's the Pac-12 and telling USC, you're my only hope.
Help us, Lincoln Riley. You're our only hope. That was the secretary from USC from the Pac-12 sending that message to Lincoln Riley. Help us, Lincoln Riley. You're our only hope. The reason is, number 7, Utah went to Florida.
And crapped the bed.
To
be fair, Gainesville is not an easy place to win.
But Florida was unranked.
They got
this tell you what preseason rankings mean. Diddly poop. You have a unranked Florida team taking on the 7th powerhouse in the country and straight up beat them.
Yep, because Florida's QB Anthony Richardson got a lot of praise, and I'd say he definitely deserves it for how he performed.
He is athletic. He is an athletic dude. Now, you just have to sort of, again, see, you don't know how good Utah really was, and you don't know how good Florida really was. It's early in the season. Who was overranked? Who was underranked? We'll see as the season goes on. There's some games this week that will prove some of these.
Impressive win for the Gators.
But definitely an impressive win for the Gators starting out season, yes. We had Albany at Baylor. 69 to 10.
That's what a team should do. Baylor just bent Albany over and spanked them over and over and over.
Yeah, and I think we called them most of these to cover. There was a couple that we picked not, but that was
Utah.
That was Utah. I thought Utah would cover Georgia, Oregon, but we did pick Georgia, didn't we? Yeah, but some of these were just spankings, like Utah State and Alabama. 55
to nothing.
That's
the Alabama I'm used to seeing over the past 10 years.
And the Utah head coach said afterwards that's the best team he's ever seen put on pads. So
that's the best
Alabama. That's the best Alabama team he's ever played against.
Best Alabama team? The best Alabama team.
So, in other words, we've seen Georgia be a monster, Alabama be a monster. Can we just let them play in the national title game and let the rest of us enjoy the season? just next week, let them go ahead and play in the national title game. We'll name one of them the national champion, and the rest of us can just have fun. It's over now, ain't it? I mean, ain't it? Do you think Clemson's going to be either one of those two?
No.
Do you think Ohio State's going to be either one of those two?
For what I saw in week 1, no.
No, so let's just go ahead and let them play and get it over with. We had Notre Dame at Ohio State.
Speaking of you forgot the V.
Oh, man, people will
know.
The
Buckeye fans will get you on there for that.
People will know, they won't know who I'm talking about unless I put the D in front. Because there's like 3 or 4 different Ohio State universities.
Apparently, there's like 2 or 3 different versions of Ohio State. It's like Ohio the State, the Ohio State, or Ohio State the.
I don't know, but they did take care of Notre Dame. Offense didn't look very good. Defense took
kept
care
them
of
in
business.
the game until the last moment where they pulled away. They kind of struggled offensively against Notre Dame.
Yeah,
the start.
In the third quarter, it could have really been anybody's game. Then Notre Dame just didn't have much of an offense.
Ohio State's defensive line got pressure over and over and forced Notre Dame's quarterback to throw.
Yep, 21 to 10.
Pretty much.
And then our last top 15 game was a Monday night college game because NFL ain't on yet. Clemson won 41 to 10 over Georgia Tech.
That's a deceiving score.
Yeah, I heard the best analogy was Clemson's defense looked like a steak and Clemson's offense looked like a cheese sandwich. So, when you watch Clemson play, are you going to get the steak or are you going to get the cheese sandwich? That's the question. They were playing against Georgia Tech, so the steak was there more than the cheese sandwich.
And their starting quarterback, DJ Uiagalelei, I hope I said that right. He looked average.
Yeah, he did look sort of. Clemson's offense looked sort of average, and you would think it would be the opposite because Brent Venables, who was their defense coordinator for 15 years, left and went to Oklahoma. So you would think that their defense would struggle a little bit, but they didn't, man. Their
They
defense.
picked up right where they left
Their
off.
defense, that one kid, I can't remember, but he was hurt last year, came back this year. Monster. He's going to be in the NFL. They've got a couple of D linemen on that Clemson team that's going to be in the NFL this year. So,
The
but
offense needs to pick up the slack.
Yep, that is our recap of last week.
We'll have to mention one thing personally involving this team right here.
Oh, yeah, we did. We are Tennessee fans. If you didn't know, I don't know, you might guess what I guess. But, yeah, Tennessee is finally looking pretty. That was a good quality
Against
win.
Ball State, which Ball State probably just went to pick up a paycheck over there in Knoxville.
But, hey, the line was 35.5.
And you beat them by 49.
And you
That's
cover
pretty satisfying.
you 2 touchdowns on top of that line. That's doing more than was expected. So, Tennessee is actually going to be ranked this coming week. We'll talk about their game maybe here at the end and throw in a little prediction on it too. But first of all, we'll go ahead and jump in.
You want to jump into our stinker of the week now, or do you want to wait?
Let's do it at the end. Are you going to go ahead and do the stinker right now?
Yes.
Oh, well.
I feel like I have the urge of doing
all
that
right,
stinker right now.
let's go ahead and hang on just a second. I forgot my dumpster fire. It's time for the
Dumpster
fire of the week.
The delayed version, because
And
somebody forgot to
forgot to get the
dumpster fire from
the
way over
dumpster
in
fire.
the corner.
But anyways, here it is.
Dumpster fire of the week.
Yeah. Dumpster fire of the week is we've actually got 3 of
We've
them.
got 3-way tie, folks.
It's
only week 1.
We started out thinking, man, Virginia Tech's got to be the dumpster fire of the week.
And then Iowa's offense happened.
And then Iowa's offense didn't happen. That was the problem.
And then
the end of the week, LSU special teams
happened.
Didn't happen either. So man, we were like, which one of those 3 are we going to take us to
We
dumpster
couldn't
fire?
choose, so we chose them all.
We just chose them all, man.
Virginia Tech, from the very beginning, was a disaster.
Yeah. Who did they lose to?
Old Dominion.
Old Dominion. Isn't that a trucking company?
That was like an English football.
They just picked up the squad from the smoking room at that trucking company and went out and beat Virginia Tech.
Let me tell you, their quarterback was horrible. 3 interceptions against Old Dominion.
They lost
3 interceptions against Old Dominion. How good are you really going to be?
And to cap it off, what happened at halftime?
Their coordinators got stuck in an elevator.
And they had to delay the start of the second half of the game because their coordinators were stuck in an elevator. Gosh, what the crap, man!
And,
that's like an omen. When you get stuck in an elevator and can't even make it back down to start the second half.
That's just overall a terrible day for the Hokies.
That was bad.
Terrible.
First of all, why are you in an elevator? I guess they probably call from the booth, I guess, don't they? But anyways, we'll go ahead and jump on in. Our second one was Iowa's lack of offense. They did win the game. What was the score?
7-3. That
7-3.
You that there's been issues.
But their defense outscored their offense.
4-3.
How? they scored 2 safeties. Defense scored 4 points, and offense scored 3 points.
Let me tell you, Spencer Petras. I like to call him Spencer Petros if you've watched our videos. He's thrown. I think he only completed 44% of his passes for 109 yards and a pick.
But think about that. You score 7 points in the entire game, and your defense outscores your offense. And you're thinking, how in the world can that even happen?
Stupid.
How can that even happen?
Iowa's offense set football back for at least 50 years.
Yeah.
They look prehistoric.
It was horrible. It was bad.
And do you know what Iowa's average yard to average starting field position was?
What?
They're on 40.
Oh, okay. Yeah, man, all you need is 15 yards to kick a field goal.
They had only 1 red zone trip, and it was a fumble.
Good gracious. That's bad. You start off at the 40, and you score 3 points.
That's all they got for the whole game. They started on their own 40-yard line. They only got 3 points and a fumble.
That is horrible, man. And last but not least, we had our poor LSU. Every SEC team won except
LSU. And there's one thing to blame. One of the main things to blame.
Special teams. What did the special teams do?
2 horrific muffed punts.
They muffed the punts.
Not once.
Twice.
But twice.
2 muffed punts.
A missed field goal, a missed extra point. That one missed extra point was so bad and so costly.
Did the first muff give up a touchdown? I think it did, didn't it?
Yes.
And the second muff gave up a touchdown. So that's 14 points, and then you miss a field goal. So that's 17 points.
Off the board.
And you lose by how much? 1 point.
Speaking of that whole game with Florida State, it was just a scrambled up mess.
It was both sides were just seeing who wanted to lose it. They were fighting over
Give
it.
the game away each side.
Yeah, here you have it. No, I don't. You don't want this game. You take it. And finally, they muffed enough points and missed enough field goals to lose.
Florida State's pitch, the halfback pitch over there, was a disaster. It turned into an LSU special teams disaster. So it's a disaster for all.
Yes. Well, then there we go. Those were our dumpster fires. Let's go ahead and jump into our predictions for week 2.
Hopefully there is more fun to come.
That was just week 1. I mean, imagine what's still. That was just week 1. All right, we'll jump right into the noon game, Alabama at Texas. Doesn't that sound like an exciting barn burner close? No.
Alabama's favored by 20.
Alabama's favored by 20.
At Texas.
And you know what? I'm going to probably lay those 20. Alabama minus 20.
This is what Dad thinks of the Texas Longhorns.
I don't know.
Do you put the horns down here?
The only reason that the odds makers would put Texas minus 20 is if Alabama's going to beat them at 30.
Or if they were secretly a Texas fan.
They're throwing it that high, making people think, oh, no, we do Texas plus 20? Hallelujah, people. No, I ain't buying that. Alabama's going to beat them 45-13. Let's just wait and see. It's over before it even started. All right, we'll jump on into the second game. We got Arkansas State at Ohio State. This may be our biggest line of the week. Ohio State's favored by 43.5.
Let me tell you one thing. Ohio State's coached by Ryan Day, who has been a great head coach as of so far. Only lost like 4 regular season games.
Yep.
And Arkansas State's head coach is very familiar.
Who is that?
Butch Jones.
Butch Jones. 43.5 is a lot of points.
But
Butch is going to butch it.
his bricks were made of glass.
Yeah. Oh, man. Arkansas State did beat Grambling last week, 58-3.
But is that Ohio State?
No.
Grambling is not Ohio State.
Nope. But Ohio State hasn't won. Let me see. Ohio State hasn't won. Not in the last 6 games. They haven't beat anybody by that much. That's tough to take.
But with Butch Jones, I'll take the line.
Yeah, if I'm itching to go plus 43.5, but Butch Jones, man. Butch Jones, you almost have to go minus 43.5. Just go ahead and take Ohio State minus the points. Okay, we got Southern Miss at number 15, Miami. Jumping up, the U.
The home of many football greats.
Yeah, Miami's favored by 26. Southern Miss lost last week. Honestly, I'll probably take Miami in that. They scored 70 game 1.
They scored 70 points.
70 points in game 1. So Miami's got some real offense. I'm not sure about the defense yet, but I mean, 26 points. I'm gonna take me some Miami minus 26 on that one. Southern Utah dropped down to 13.
Southern Utah and Utah?
Southern Utah is at Utah.
They will win this game. Utah will win.
Utah will win the game.
Over that disappointment in Gainesville, they will try to bounce back.
Yeah, I think it'll be a double-digit game, too. We got Marshall at Notre Dame.
That doesn't say Irish.
No, I think Notre Dame jumps back, too. They're favored by 20.5.
To be fair, your only loss is to Ohio State, so you can easily rebound from that.
Yeah. We got Furman at Clemson. There's not even a line on this sucker. It's probably going to be so high.
It's going to be so high
There's not
that
even
science
line on
can't
it.
describe it.
They can't even calculate that much.
Man can't even be accurate.
No. We got Appy State at Texas A&M. That should be an interesting game. Appy State is not a bad team, but I think Appy State should move to the ACC.
Well, that North Carolina Appalachian State game was so wild.
It was so wild, yeah. I think Appy State could be the third or fourth best team in the ACC right now.
Yeah, Appalachian State.
Yeah,
They're
they
the Sun
could.
Belt.
And I love I mean, really, they could be the third or fourth best team in the ACC today. Texas A&M's favored by 18.5.
Do you want to take the Aggies?
I probably will, yeah. Until these teams come down, Texas A&M looked pretty good last week. Didn't have a bunch of offense, but the defense looked good. So we'll just go ahead and take the big dogs until we figure out something different. We got Samford at Georgia. Again, not a line because it's going to be
so big that
low.
math can't even describe it.
Georgia will probably beat them by 40. We got Akron at Michigan State.
Akron almost lost in overtime to an FCS team, so I'm going to pick the Spartans.
Oh yeah, Sparty. Even with without those two defensive players, they'll still probably beat them by 20 or 30. There's not a line on that one either. We got Kent State, Oklahoma. Oklahoma's favored by 33.5.
I'll take the Sooners.
I'll take the Sooners on that one too. Yeah. We got USC at Stanford. Interesting game. Stanford is 1-0, and USC is number 10 now. Top 10. USC at Stanford. The line's only 9. USC's favored by 9.
It's a rivalry game.
Uh-huh.
And Lincoln Riley's first rivalry game as a head coach at USC.
I think Lincoln Riley will make this his signature win, and I think they beat him by more than 9. I think so. He's more than anything. He's wanting to prove himself.
Wanting to prove himself as one of the top coaches in college football.
Yeah, we got Arizona State at Okie State. Okie State's favored by 11. Arizona State's not a bad team, but I still think Okie State wins the game. Do they cover the 11?
It really depends on how you think.
It really depends because, like I said, Arizona State's not a bad team, and Oklahoma State did not look fantastic last week. I mean, they won, but they gave up 44 points to a Central Michigan. So if they'll give up 44 to Central Michigan, how much is Arizona State going to score on them? I think I'm gonna take Arizona State. I just don't got this feeling. Might even be an upset. Might even be a straight upset in this one. We got Hawaii at Michigan. Lord have mercy, I forgot about this one. This is the biggest spread, 51.
Jeez.
Michigan will put up 70 on them. I'm going to take minus 51, people. That is insane. I'm taking minus 51.
Because Vanderbilt
put up 63 on them. If Vanderbilt can put up 63 on you, Michigan's going to score 80. It's going to be 82 to 10. It's going to be a 70-point spread. That is horrible. And then last but not least, we got Baylor at BYU.
A top 25 matchup to end the weekend.
BYU is actually favored by 3.5. They are at BYU, but I'm going to take me some Baylor. You give me Baylor plus 3.5.
If BYU wins, it would be a good upset.
Yes, I'm going to take plus 3.5 because they can just win straight up, and you got that whipped. And then we will do our honorable mention because Pitt is ranked 17th.
And they played in a wild backyard brawl with West Virginia.
And they're taking on number 24, Tennessee.
Oh boy.
Tennessee's
ranked.
The line opened up, I think, at 4.5. It went to 5.5 yesterday. Today it is 6.5.
6.5 point in favor of
Tennessee.
Tennessee
is the road opponent.
Do you take that
ranked 7th points, ranked 7 places less, and still favored by 6.5. Yeah, honestly, I'm gonna take Tennessee minus 6.5. Tennessee's defense again.
People have been complaining about it online.
It's still iffy, and if you'll make a note, this head coach that's at Pitt allows the fewest points against Heupel as a coach than anybody. So this coach sort of has Heupel's number as far as that goes. But Tennessee's offense is going to put up 40. They're going to. Pitt's offense did not look fantastic against West Virginia. So if they put up 34, I don't think Pitt scores 24. I think they beat them by 10, 34-24. That's what I think. Might be a late touchdown in the fourth quarter that gives them that 10-point cushion, but I think that's sort of what happens. What do you think? It's scary, ain't it?
That game just makes me feel nerve-wracked a little bit. I don't know what to really say on that one.
But it's fun. Tennessee is ranked again, and we get to have a little fun with it. If Tennessee wins that one, they've got Akron, and then they've got
the Gators.
Florida. We can have a top 20 matchup.
Possibly. With
Tennessee and Florida. Because, Florida plays. Did we mention the Florida game?
No.
I somehow skipped that. Florida is ranked 12, so we got to mention it. Number 20 Kentucky is at number 12 Florida.
This will be interesting to start off the SEC slate.
Florida is favored by 5. I'll take Florida -5. I think Florida at home, coming off of that win.
They're going to be a
Kentucky
little
was a little wishy-washy in their win. So, yeah, Florida. I will take Florida over at Kentucky. And then Florida, next week we'll have South Florida after Kentucky. So they should be 3-0.
Whenever they play Tennessee.
And if we beat Pitt, then we will beat Akron. We'll be 3-0. You will have a 3-0 Florida going into a 3-0 Tennessee.
How do you do?
How do you do? That will be probably the SEC game of the week that week.
CBS coverage.
CBS coverage. It will be a monster game. But anyways, that is college football. We hope you enjoyed it. We have fun doing this. Be sure and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, share us with your friends.
Button.
Share us with your friends. Hit the Groovy Baby button over here somewhere on his head.
Comment down below what you think.
But anyways, we hope you loved it. See you next week.
See you next week.